Hello, and welcome back to this Path of Exile series. I'm going to show off a little bit of the trading system here. It tracks not only the properties of particular items, but also combined properties of items. For example, I mentioned items with quality. Those are percent buffs to their basic stats. If you put in a total of 40% worth of quality, the NPC will give back an armor scrap for armor, or a whetstone for weapons. And this is a consumable which can be used to improve the quality of whatever armor you want.
Goodbye.
There are all sorts of combinations and cumulative things like that, some of which are kinda crazy. Well, let's go to prison. I hear that's where all the cool kids are nowadays. Well, it looks like there haven't been any people around here for quite a while. Also, you probably noticed that I modified my fireballs a little bit. Yep, I just happened to pick up an orb that makes it a three-way shot. Unfortunately, shotgunning doesn't work. Each one can only hit one particular target. It still makes it pretty nice for larger groups of enemies, though. Also, the fireballs do have an area of effect, so if they hit a wall or several monsters, the total area of all three of them can stack on enemies. Makes it very nice.
Moana, warrior.
Hello and goodbye. I'm looking for someone more oriented towards my kind of gear. Well, this is pretty effective. Of course, it doesn't come free. Nothing in this game does. In this particular case, the support... Oh, I didn't even know there was a necromancer back there. Anyways, the support spell does increase the cost of the spell. So you can't just stack that stuff without any consideration of all of the effects. Also, the gear has to have links between its slots for the support to work. Well, I also noticed that partially because of these things, I was starting to run out of mana faster than I would like. Well, I have plenty of mana stored up in my flasks, so that shouldn't be a problem for now. But later on, I'll want something to help fix this problem. Maybe passives, maybe some kind of gear or buff skill that would help with it. There are a few things I could try. That's a curse. Those necromancer enemies have started to cast curses, and whoo, they are annoying. They are player curses, which means that they aren't just something that you can safely ignore a lot of the time. In these dungeons in particular, they like to do things like reduce your elemental defense against the nearby monsters. For example, I suspect that later on, in a fire-based dungeon, they'll reduce my fire defense. And especially in hardcore, this can be a problem. Is this a better kind of gloves? Technically, but it doesn't have the slots I want. And this is the sort of thing I'm talking about when I say it really pays to pay attention to gear drops. It's not unheard of for a completely normal, non-magical gear piece to still be valuable because it has all of the links you want, and there are ways to improve gear with orbs so that it becomes more suitable for your particular power level. Now, I wish the move key didn't automatically pick things up. Like, I would be perfectly okay with a completely separate key for that. Oh well. It's important to level up skill gems whenever you can, because while they are full, they do not gain any more experience. Ooh, those fireballs sure pack a punch. Oh, those are those expanding auras that I probably want to avoid.
I need more mana.
No kidding. Do you just summon a necromancer? That is not fun. Chaos Shard? Sure, I'll take that. Still don't know what engineer orbs do, but I did find out what binding orbs do, and oh, it's not what I thought it was. Alright. There is a semi-valuable orb called an alchemy orb, which turns white items into yellow rare items. Quite nice for, as I said, if you find something with good links. This one does the same, except that it links up to 4 slots, which happens to be the maximum for things like gloves and boots. So, I've never seen one, and it might be specific to this event, because I've only ever seen shards of it dropped by those harbingers. I suspect that after the event ends, they're going to be pretty darn valuable. And also, as such, I plan to not actually use any of them for quite a long time, especially when I'm blazing through content and item levels like this. After all, don't want to use an expensive upgrade like that on something that I'll probably replace in 20 minutes or so. This particular curse is Enfeeble, which cuts my damage rather drastically. Oh, there you are. Well, the good news is that this necromancer is not very good at melee range. Most necromancers aren't, although I guess there are exceptions. Like, I understand that in Diablo 3, necromancers have some nice close range AoE. That's completely off topic, though. So far off topic. Oh, this is something new as well. I better clear out everything nearby before I deal with this. What we're looking at is a strong box. It is typically filled with fairly nice things. The drawback being is that it's guarded, even though it doesn't look like it right now. Perhaps I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but I really do not want anything wandering in when I open that box. Now, much like items, boxes have rarities. White, blue, gold, unique. This one is blue. And anything blue and above does not tell you what guards it. However, you can use an identify scroll on it to solve this problem. And it turned out to be a good thing I did. This box has a good mod and a bad mod. More items drop. However, it releases caustic clouds, so I better move really far away as soon as I open it. Well, let's go. Ooh, yeah, that stuff doesn't look too nice, but it seems to be gone now.
I need more mana.
Yeah, doorways are especially nice for the fireball explosions here. Alright. And I guess that's what an artisan's box does. All of these upgrade items, unlike the binding orb, these are common enough for me to use in the reasonably near future. Well, that did the trick. Hooray! Oh, there's another downside to some of these gems that I'm using. Specifically, not all support gems are necessarily tied to the attribute that you specialize in. For example, the multiple projectiles things, much like Detonate Dead, is tied to dexterity. How am I able to use it? Well, I've decided to try putting passive points into my direct goal instead of stats, and instead use gear to increase my stats to the point where I can use the skill gems that I want. So far, it's worked out. We'll see how it goes. I can always adjust... Oh, the Warden's Quarters. Well, let's assign those passives before I go any further. Yep. As much as I like the idea of increasing spell critical strike chance, I think it's just about time to invest in survival.
Ignorance brought you here, to the one place where your talents are free to grow and be truly feared.
Whoa, that is something new. It used to be that Dear Piety up there said the same thing no matter what class you are, but now it seems to be specific to character. That's really nice. I love it when they add touches like that. Well, things are looking pretty ugly here, which... Well, remember that Brutus guy that the NPCs were talking so much about? And this long trail of blood leading this away? Yeah, there's a fairly major boss coming up. I hope that's not a spoiler, because, well, seriously. You need more game sense if you didn't see that coming.
My loyal Declan, give Our Lady Piety your absolute support and watch her with absolute scrutiny. There is much to learn from the likes of the Inquisitor, the Umbra, and the Soulless One. I would hate for Piety to feel that she need shoulder such perilous wisdom alone. Dominus.
Well, that's new too. Well. So those are Oriathan soldiers, blackguards, and they are considerably better equipped than I am, mostly because I've been just using whatever scraps I can pick up. So, for fairly obvious reasons, I do not want to go anywhere near this one. He He's aware of the keep away strategy, which is why he actually has a hook that works similarly as in Dota games. You take damage and you're pulled right up to him. Thankfully, this does not come with a particularly long stun. Not quite sure what happened, and I do not like the idea of encountering lag, especially in a boss fight. So, these skeletons that come into the fight are obviously a problem because they shoot at me, but they're also kind of a blessing because killing them, like killing anything in the game, helps refill your flasks. So they are a recharge for you if you can avoid taking too much damage. There we go.
Had you been my creation, brute, you'd not have fallen so easily.
Ooh, big words. That is a lot of yellow gear, and one of the pieces, actually two of the pieces, might be usable. Everyone loves the loot explosions. Well, I don't particularly need another reward after that, but the game says that I'm gonna get one, so hey.
For some, death is welcomed with open arms. Did you end Brutus's suffering out of avarice or mercy? Only you know the answer to that one. Goodbye.
Honestly, I wasn't doing that for the loot drops. I was doing it just to move forward.
The warden's free of his own prison. Well, since you're so bloody determined to cheat the britches off death, you better have one of these, for luck. And when they write the song about you, just be sure to mention that it was Tarkley who taught you everything you know.
Well, let's see what we got. Clarity, which is very nice. But there's also Flame Dash. I'm going to want both of these, but the first one I want to get is Flame Dash because it covers the big milestone that I was talking about before. With Flame Dash, I'll be able to escape from tricky situations or better evade attacks. Let's try it out a little bit. As a bonus, being a fire skill, once it levels up, my passive should help improve its damage quite nicely.
Too much clutter.
That's probably a sign that I should drop off my excess inventory. Yeah, definitely. I am definitely not getting enough identify scrolls either. Oh, what should I do? Yeah, I think I need the orbs from trading in rare stuff more. Right. I guess this is also nice for faster. This is also nice for faster travel as well. Oh, I was hoping I'd pick up one of these. Sapphire Ring. Very nice boost to cold resistance. I'm gonna need that, as I said last time. Why? Well, we'll find out later. For now, we went through a fairly substantial dungeon, so I'm gonna call it a day.